We are now joined by defending champion Pádraig Harrington here at the Simmons Bank Championship. Just to start, how great is it to be back here at Little Rock and Pleasant Valley Country Club?
You know, it's always nice to come back to a tournament you've won, but I really enjoyed my event here last year. Pleasant Valley is a very nice golf course. Little Rock is a fun town to be in. So it's a very enjoyable week all round, and maybe that's what contributed to winning last year. The golf course does suit me somewhat, so a lot of good things. I've enjoyed my week so far. I got here Sunday night, so I've had 3 days of practice. I got the pro-am today, and I'm kind of ready for it to start.
15th start of the season, 2 wins. You enter the week number 6 in the Charles Schwab Cup standings. How do you feel about everything coming into this week?
Yeah, the 2 major wins is great. So that's going to be a successful year. I probably haven't played as well in the regular events. I just haven't been getting off to a great start. You know, you got to get scoring well. You got to get low. I haven't been really holding the putts to make, to shoot the 6-7 under pars. I think I shot 20 under here last year or so. So, I prefer a tougher week where, I'm not under as much pressure to hold putts and make birdies. But as I said, I did it last year. But I do need to get in a good run and see some putts going in, see some low scores, and there's nothing wrong with my physical game at the moment. It's just I'm just not scoring low enough.
Okay. Questions, guys?
Wrong side. Welcome back, Pádraig.
Thank you.
How familiar are you with the term hat trick? Because should you win Sunday, this will be 3rd year in a row for the second playoff event victory, Timber Tech in last year.
Somebody said that I was on a three-peat, and I was trying to figure out. I thought they got it wrong. Look, I've won Dick's 3 times in a row, so I've won. I've won plenty of events, but not plenty of events. I have won 3 in a row. I have done hat tricks. I'm sure I scored a hat trick back when I was a kid. So look, it's nice to think about it. I'm not going to put myself. To be honest, when you come into a tournament defending, you have a certain level of expectation. So it kind of feels like on the first day that you're already on top of the leaderboard. So you can end up being a little bit defensive. Anybody when they're leading a tournament on a Sunday, there is a little bit of they get a little bit don't make a mistake sort of attitude. And when you're defending a tournament, you can start the tournament that way, which isn't a great way to be. You got to free up and let it happen. As I said, if 20 under par won last year, you're going to expect something like that this year. So you've got to go low and try and get all this. Nobody's given me anything starting at the week. It doesn't matter that I'm the defending champion. I don't start 1 under par or 2 under par. I don't get a handicap start. So everything has to be earned. It's a new tournament. So you just got to go and play good golf like any other week and maybe try and get the fact that you're defending. It's not that you can't get it out of your head, because obviously you get asked about it, but you got to understand it. And that's the great thing about golf. Nobody gives you anything. Like, even if you shoot, if you're 6 ahead going into the last round, you don't get to declare and say I'm the winner. You have to finish the tournament out. You have to play the golf. So nobody gives you anything. You got to go and do it. So being defending champion is nice. Puts a little bit of extra pressure, a little bit of extra stress, but it's not of any help.
Lastly, more familiarity with the golf course itself coming in this year. Where is your mind from 2024 to 2025 coming into this event?
Yeah, look, we are getting familiar with the course. When you play a golf course in practice, it's one thing. When you play it in a tournament, you see it in a different light. 1 year is good. Certainly, 2-3 years into playing a tournament, you really do know the golf course. You know certain mistakes not to make. So I think we're got a benefit from playing last year, but there will still be the odd miss this week that you go, I really didn't realise it was as bad over here and I shouldn't have missed the green here. So there's still a little bit of learning in it. And again, as much as you want to play practice rounds, you can't learn a golf course until you really play it with a card in your hand. So we're all still getting used to it. Certainly some really challenging greens. The speed of the greens are very challenging here. So this week, and some of this is circumstantial, is when you do miss, that you don't miss in the wrong place. You can hit, if you miss in the wrong place with these speed of greens, you could be in positions where you can't get up and down. So that's a little bit good fortune as well as smart play. But hopefully, as I said during the week, the PGA Tour Champions posted a video of me chipping in the rain last year for eagle on number 7. And when I think back, I hit my second shot in the wet. I hit it way right. It could have gone out of bounds. It could have gone in the red hazard, and I chipped in for eagle. Those are the sort of things you can't legislate for, but that's what happens when you win tournaments. You get good breaks. You get those breaks when it counts. And certainly when I look back, that was a big break last year, and probably a strong part of the catalyst to be winning the event.
You mentioned that this course kind of plays into your strength. Can you talk about that a little bit? Why you think you can excel on a course like this?
Well, it seems pretty tough. There's quite a bit of 20 under par was a low score last year, and I'm trying to think, was that an outlier? Is the greens are difficult, so I'm not 100% sure how much it plays into my strength, because to shoot 20 under par, you're going to have to make a lot of birdies and you're going to have to hold a lot of putts. And while I don't feel I'm putting badly, I'm certainly not scoring very well. I played a few tournaments in Europe, and when you go back to the regular tour, certainly for me, it really knocks the edges off you. You end up being more defensive on the regular tour. You end up trying not to make bogeys. And you end up, then when you come back out here, you need to change gear very quickly here. It's a different mindset in the Champions Tour. Like, a Champions Tour is a sprint, whereas a regular tournament can be, much more of a marathon. That's probably why I've done well in the majors this year. I feel a little bit more relaxed 4 rounds. I have more time to be patient. So the 4 rounds has suited me. I find this very, very quick, 54 holes. And I think in the couple of tournaments, the last 2 tournaments I played, both times I got down on myself with my own, my attitude was bad when I didn't get going quickly. And I put myself under too much pressure to get that, low score going on the front 9 of the first day.
With that in mind, whenever you look and you see weather kind of in the forecast Saturday, Sunday, how does that change maybe the approach tomorrow, knowing that might be the cleanest day on the course?
I am Irish. I do not look at the weather forecast. It changes every day. We look out the window and see what it's like for the next 5 minutes. That's as far as I go at home. And so I don't have a weather app. I have heard that there is a forecast because people keep telling me, but I would never look. I have zero control over the weather. I will deal with whatever I get at that moment. But I will say, to answer your question, there's nothing worse for a player to react to what they expect is coming in. As in, if you think it's going to rain on Friday, or say Saturday and Sunday, and say you thought it was going to be a washout on Sunday, are you trying to win the tournament on Saturday? I suppose you would with the last couple of holes, but you can't. Again, you can't be expecting things, or that's like looking at leaderboards. You make a lot of wrong decisions when you're trying to control the uncontrollable.
So we won't get into the weather, but it's going to rain. So you've played this course.
Are you sure it's going to rain?
Yes, I'm positive.
See, this is the difference. In the States, your forecasts are really accurate. When you live on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean, as we do in Ireland, that forecast, it changes so much. We just don't rely on that. We look out the window. So I know you get it. I must admit, if I was living over here, I would use a weather app and trust it. But still, I'm holding out that the weather forecast will change and we're going to have a beautiful sunny week.
Or not. So
miserable.
So this course in the rain, since you played it last year, how does it play when it's wet?
Golf is different in the rain. The drivers and the golf balls are designed to perform in beautiful weather, beautiful sunny weather. We're on the limit of spin rates, and when it gets wet, you lose that grip on the ball, you lose that spin rate, so you can hit really wild shots in the rain. So you just have to You have to have a strategy. You do change strategy. You probably get a little bit more conservative. You got to have a way of dealing with actually hitting the shots in the rain. There's a lot going on in the rain. It's a different form of golf. As I said, you could have guys who will change the loft on the driver to give a bit more spin. I think it'd be a bit late now, but you could have guys changing the golf ball to get more spin. But basically, when a golf ball gets wet, if you lose the spin on it, it can go anywhere on its own. It's like hitting a flyer all the time. So, yeah, it's an awkward one, the wet weather, but I've grown up playing it. I believe I have a good strategy for it. So, whereas I don't like it, I really do want to play in nice sunny 80 degrees. I do realise I have probably an advantage in it.
And this course in the rain?
I think this course in the rain is probably fine all the way up to the last 3 holes. So last 3 holes I've got around the lake, and as I said, it's nearly, playing in the rain is nearly like playing with mud in your golf ball. Shots should go okay, but they can go awry. So when you have such a risk reward as the last 3 holes, that makes it quite intimidating. Most of the other holes are tree line, so if you do happen to get a water ball and it squirts off to the right, it's not great. You're in the trees, but you're not taking a penalty. You're not out of bounds. So I think the course is a good course to play in the rain, but those last 3 holes can be very intimidating, even without the rain.
Just a quick one. I know the caddy shootout's been a big topic of conversation this week. How'd you like watching your caddy under the lights, and what'd you take away from that?
Yeah, the caddy shoot, I think it went down very well. It was very popular with the caddies. I think it was popular with the people who came out to watch. What was interesting from our perspective was we've had a few caddy tournaments in the past, but this was on the tournament course, on the most dramatic holes on the tournament course, with grandstands, with people out watching. So it was a whole new level. It was very exciting. It was quite fun. I was one of the commentators, and it was good to give a bit of stick to the caddies. I was surprised how high a standard it was. Yeah, the guys played great. The winning group, they went birdie, birdie, bogey, par, par, par. So birdie, birdie, par, bogey, par, par was their winning total. So they played great. They fully deserved to win. So the standard was pretty good, but I think everybody had a good time. And the caddies, which is important, the caddies felt appreciated. The caddies felt like they were treated well. They're being brought out. They had a bit of food beforehand. They got to hit shots on the range with it was warmed up. It was just really what it should be. It was exactly, the caddies had a great night out. The players who turned up enjoyed it. My own caddy managed to get 2 holes, so he was happy he didn't get knocked out in the first hole. But as I said, it was one of those nights which is very important for, I think, all the players, that we want our caddies to feel like they're appreciated and very much part of the show, because they are.
All right. Thank you for the time, Pádraig.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Are cigarettes allowed during these? I don't.
All right, we're now joined by Stewart Cink here at the Simmons Bank Championship, your second appearance here in Little Rock after a T5 finish last year. Just to start, how is it to be back here in Little Rock at Pleasant Valley Country Club?
It's really exciting to be back. It was a well-supported event last year. Simmons Bank did an awesome job for a first-time event, and the town of Little Rock really supported us very, very well. And it's a nice little town. I grew up not too far from here, and believe it or not, I'd never been to Little Rock before last year. So we had a nice time, a lot of nice little spots to eat, and it's just it's a nice homey town, and we enjoyed it. So it's great to be back.
Yeah. 2 wins this season. You enter this week number 2 in the Charles Schwab Cup standings. Just how do you feel about everything coming into this week?
Well, I keep whittling down the number of tournaments I have left to catch Miguel, and now it's to 2. So Miguel, as number 2 guy, you're kind of always focused on the number 1 guy, and he's given us a chance to catch him because he took some tournaments off over the summer, late half of the summer, and then didn't really do much with it. I'd like to have a few of those events back, and especially the last couple, but there's still 2 more, and really good golf will pay off. This is a good golf course for me. I felt like last year I thoroughly impressed with the condition of it. It's amazing. So it'll be a good show for Little Rock this week, for Simmons Bank, no matter who wins, but I would like to be the one.
Okay. Start with Frankie over here.
Stewart, first off, I didn't know you grew up from around. Where'd you grow up from around here?
Well, I grew up in Florence, Alabama, which is just about 100 miles on the other side of Memphis.
Right. Okay.
So kind of regional.
Yeah. You have a buku number of top tens this year. Here the last 3 weeks, didn't quite hit that. What's been the difference, and how do you feel about your game so far?
I really can't put a finger on the difference other than it's just been a little bit of everything. Just hasn't been that sharp. I've made a couple of mistakes that aren't typical for me, like abandoning my game plan and doing a different, like I said in my media last week, the 15th hole is not a hole where you go for the green, even though it's drivable. Just because you can reach it doesn't mean you should. And I did one day, and I made bogey. That kind of thing is just not like my hallmark. That I usually stick to my game plan. I'm a disciplined player, got a lot of experience, and that's the kind of thing that's a sign of mental fatigue. It's just a long year. I'm 52, and it just adds up in little mental mistakes like that, or that's kind of the first thing to appear.
I know it seems simple, but the more times you play this course, the more you get used to it. Are you finding things out even now, today, that you wouldn't have known this time last year, maybe?
Well, I don't have a good answer for that question just because I haven't played the course yet. Because of the late nature of the event in the season, I've been going home. I live in Atlanta. It's real easy to travel in and out of, so I've been going home in between. I only came in last night. I haven't seen the course yet this year. I remember a lot from last year. I thought our game plan that me and my caddy Chris Jones had set up was good, and it was definitely good enough to win if I had continued to execute on Sunday. I think I was tied for the lead early in the round, like maybe on the 7th hole. So and I just was flat after that. So the game plan that we have doesn't really need to be tweaked a whole lot, and just do a little bit better job sticking to it and just clean a few things up here. The line is really fine between first place and say 10th or 12th place out here, and I've been kind of residing in that area a lot this year. So it's minute little changes, but just a little more focus and a little bit more what we call getting my heart in the right place. Like there's a lot of acceptance that goes along with succeeding out here, and sometimes you have to accept failure in order to help yourself succeed, and sometimes it's hard to really decide before shots that you'll accept a bad result. But that's, in a way, a key to sort of unlock your true abilities sometimes. And that's we're going to focus on that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm looking at the forecast right now, and I don't know how much you pay attention to the weather, but it's supposed to be 80% chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday. How does that go into effect in terms of your game, and how do you judge how far you need to hit the ball, and just judge those greens on a slick surface when it rains like that?
Well, unfortunately it's one thing that we're kind of accustomed to playing in bad weather, and I have putted, and the greens are absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best greens I've ever seen. With that being said, the rain will affect them. It'll soften the greens up somewhat. And if there's a lot of rough out there, the rain will make the rough play a little bit more difficult. But our game plan's set up around how far we want to hit it in a sort of a raw number kind of way. So if the ball's not going very far because it's wet, then we just add club, and we just hit it to the same spots. They really won't change much. It's one of the reasons that I like to do those game plans in that way, because it takes less decision-making energy off of my plate, since I don't have a infinite amount of that energy anymore. But no, I hope it's good weather for the tournament. It's for the golfers and the caddies. It is what it is. If it rains, it's a grind, and it'll just require a little bit more patience. But we're good in that department.
And when you're looking at standings, when you're looking at who's competing, who you're going to be competing against this weekend, I guess who kind of stands out in your mind that
Miguel Jimenez. No, really, we're down to the wire here. This is the penultimate playoff event for the season for the Schwab Cup, and I've only got one guy to pass. And the difference between second and first means a lot more to me than second and third or fourth.
When you think back to last year, that the finish here, the 16, 17, 18. It's just kind of built out to be kind of a perfect tournament finish. What do you remember from that kind of stretch of holes, and what kind of atmosphere do you expect from that this weekend?
Yeah, I love the way it finishes. It kind of feels like a racetrack in a way. Like you play the first 15 holes and you bust out onto the backstretch, and you got a lot more energy in the crowd, and there's some risk reward shots. It's a really cool stretch. It's a fun golf course to play. 18th hole obviously has some excitement with Eagle being in play, and then you've got water all the way down the left. So it's just a really ideal classic setup for tournament golf, and looking forward to being in that arena again.
Well, and that's with having those kind of eagle birdie opportunities down the stretch. Does it kind of change the mindset knowing that you have some opportunities at the end to make up some strokes?
It might change the mindset a little bit on 18, but it won't change anything on 16 or 17. Those holes, you just don't gain anything by changing the way you attack those holes. You're just going to execute on those holes, and then you hope to like sort of hang on until the 18th hole, and then if there's a decision to be made, it's everybody's gonna hit a driver, but is it more about how far right do I need to aim it? If you're in the lead by a couple there, it might not be a driver. It might be a shorter shot, but certainly a hole where it's probably the main hole on this golf course where if you hit a good tee ball, it rewards you more than any other. And I saw both sides of that last year. I hit the fairway a couple times and had irons to the green, made eagle. I hit in the water one day too and had to struggle in that hole. So. Yeah, it's a really good finish.
And I'm not sure what your relationship with Miguel is or how it exactly works on the tour here, but is there trash talk going on? What's that relationship look like?
We're using the media for our trash talk. No, it's not like trash talk or anything. I mean, I respect him a lot, and I'm sure he would probably say the same thing about me. But when I said that he's the one I'm focused on, I'm saying that completely in jest. I am focused on trying to play at Pleasant Valley the best I can play it. Number 1, number 2, all the way through the 18th hole. I know I have what it takes to win this tournament, and I know everybody in the field has what it takes to win this tournament. It's just a question of who can get out of their own way the most and who can execute the shots when it matters and make a few putts. And that's about it. And if I know I have the capability, and I just look forward to it. I really do love competing out here. PGA Tour Championship is a fun place to play, and I've had a blast so far, and don't see any reason to slow down now.
One more, Frankie. Last one over here.
Sorry about that. To follow up basically on what you're talking about, you can't win the Schwab Cup Championship this week. I mean, that's 2 weeks away, but you sure can make a difference if you lose or top 20, something like that. So.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm in a position where really the only thing I can do to make a big difference is probably a top 3, 4, or 5 finish. And I need some help in that regard because Miguel's it's not like he's going to probably just take the week off and not play great. I mean, he's a great player. There's a reason he's number 1. So I can only do what I can do, and to me, I know what that means. It's piecing together a really solid executing series of executions, and like I said before, I know our game plan's in good shape, and really just go out and relax. Golf is one of those, there's a lot of backwardness in golf where the harder you try, the worse you play typically, and I think I've been trying a little maybe too hard the last 3 or 4 weeks instead of just letting it happen. Golf doesn't really treat you very well when you do that, and so I've had some middling finishes, and I'm ready to put those behind me.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Thanks for the time, Stewart.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
You got it. Thank you, guys.